know that there's another global threat facing this earth besides climate change? It's called antimicrobial resistance, of which we find antibacterial resistance. But let me take you from the start.
Once upon a time, there was a place called Planet Earth, and on this planet Earth lived many living organisms, such as humans, animals, plants, and more, and amongst these we find bacteria. Bacteria are single-celled organisms. They are so tiny that 1,000 of them lined up next to each other could fit on the end of your pencil eraser. When you think about germs and bacteria, you might think about the ones on your school's playground, like the ones on the monkey bars. Yuck. But actually, bacteria is everywhere and serve multiple purposes. Some live inside your gut, such as Lactobacillus acidophilus, which helps absorb nutrients and break down food. But some bacteria are in fact bad. These bacteria cause infections. You might have heard of Salmonella, caused by contaminated food and water, or E. coli, which can cause extreme pains and fatigue. These disease-causing strains can produce toxins as well as damage cells and tissues in the body. This is where antibiotics come into play. An antibiotic is a type of antimicrobial drug that kills and slows down the growth of the bacterial infections. We have been using antibiotics for a long time now. The first commonly used antibiotic was penicillin, discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. But the overuse and misuse of these antibiotics have produced strains of bacteria resistant to many or all the antibiotics. These are called superbugs. So when we talk about resistance, it's not our body that's getting resistant to the antibiotics, but rather the bacteria themselves. But how does this happen? Well, let's take an example of MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. This bacteria can cause skin and lung infections and is resistant to all beta-lactam antibiotics. You try to defeat this bacteria with penicillin, but it has mutated in a way to avoid the target area of the penicillin, destroy the antibiotic, block the entry of the antibiotic, or pump out the antibiotic altogether. These superpower mutations have allowed the fittest of the MRSA bacteria to survive and pass the traits onto other bacteria, producing a whole army of bacteria with resistant genes. The fate of mutated resistant bacteria is inevitable because the fittest always survive. However, there are things we can do to slow down this threat. Overprescription of antibiotics was one big factor in how this resistance grew. Now physicians are being more careful when prescribing antibiotics. Scientists are trying to research into newer compounds with antibacterial properties.
For now, just remember to listen to your doctor about antibiotics and don't take them for the flu.